This time on the Iron Empire, we buy another car we definitely do not need. All right, so here we are with our latest addition to the fleet. Yes, it is another car we absolutely did not need, but nonetheless, come with me and let's have a look at what we've got to play with here. Okay, so for those who've seen my video recently, we done a bit of a fleet stock take and trying to sell a bunch of stuff off, and I got absolutely drilled in the comments. People saying that I'm clickbaiting and I didn't want to sell anything. But let me tell you, I've already sold 3 of those cars and a bunch of parts as well. So it's been a success and I'm really happy with that. We are, I promise you, trying to thin the fleet and actually concentrate on the cars we already have. But in my defense, we absolutely were not looking. I wasn't looking. This just happened to land in my lap. 82 bullnose F100. And as you can see, it's pretty highly modified. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is pretty highly modified. It's had some pretty extensive chassis work in the rear, and it's got a full Jag independent front end clip in the front. It's still retaining a factory Cleveland 351. I've been told it's got an FMX automatic, haven't even looked at that. It's tricked up. It's got a nice camshaft in it, sounds real healthy. And it is a super cool thing. Found here locally in SA, originally come from Queensland. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna play with this for a little while. And of course, like anything, it needs a lot of little tinkering to get this thing just right. And we're gonna get the ride quality and the drivability of this thing way better than it is now. And it's not gonna take a hell of a lot of work, I don't think. Okay, so as you can see, this thing sits really low, which becomes possible by doing a very large chassis notch in the rear, along with a 4-link rear setup to get the ride height. The front never get quite as low unless you go to some serious work. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is already a lot of serious work to be done, but to get these things even lower, you gotta cut the chassis even further, Z it up and everything like that. But obviously this is a substantial amount of work. But a lot of things that we need to do on this truck to get it driving a lot nicer will not be a massive amount of work. For example, I've already seen there's a lot of adjustment in the way of the rear shocks to get them all to line up nicely, get better travel, and that's going to give us a lot more ride quality. I'd like to change the tire profiles on this thing to get the wheels sitting in the wheel arches a lot nicer. We'll gain a bit of ride quality out of that, and overall appearance is going to be way better. We have to do a few modifications under the bonnet to make that all happen, but it's not groundbreaking stuff. We'll be able to do it pretty easily, and of course a bunch of little things. I've already done a little bit of adjusting with some panels in the front here. The bonnet didn't shut properly, and just to tidy up on the interior, of course. So let's have a look under the bonnet and we'll show you what it looks like under there. Looks pretty stock under there. All right, so these F100s still have the bonnet release on the, or the hood release on the passenger side, because obviously they're an American car. Now, firstly, you either love it or hate it, the shaker. We're not sold on the shaker, but it's there and the bonnet's been modified to suit, so for the time being, it's there to stay. Okay, under here we have the 351 Cleveland. We have no idea if it's the matching motor or anything like that, of course, but right here is the main culprit of why this fella didn't sell it before we came along, and that is because this is running on straight LPG, and people for some reason despise LPG. Andrea and I, we love the gas, and although it is getting a lot harder to find, mind you, this thing runs reasonably well. It does need a little bit of fine tuning for the first startup and stuff like that, but that's all pretty basic stuff we can overcome relatively simply. But for getting better range and reliability, I guess if we run into trouble, it would be nice to have it on at least dual fuel. So we might do a petrol conversion on it as well. It's running all the factory cooling here in way of radiator, but it has got the AU, or not, oh yeah, it might be AU or pre-AU thermo fans on it. And apart from that, it's all pretty much standard under here. One of the modifications I do want to make is this booster. This is what's currently stopping the car going lower. The wheel is going to be basically touching that booster from the underside. So if I had to put a smaller booster on it, move that back, we'll be able to get a bit more clearance under here and get this thing sitting a bit lower. Or at least get taller tires on it. Once again, what? The air cleaner, it looks like it's, we stole it off old mate's street bob. It hasn't even got any element left in it, so we might do something with that. And as I said, the shaker, we don't love the shaker, but the bonnet's been cut out and everything, so we'll see. It is what it is, unless we find another bonnet. These gas struts are not factory, and the hood hinges are a bit knackered, but these are all little things that we can make massive strides with progression on this car without a massive amount of work. Okay, going inside, as you can see, this thing used to be black. Me, it was this Rundle Street. Mount Gould up here in the Adelaide Hills, and for some reason it's like the busiest back road ever. Now a plane's going over top. Okay, so inside, as you can see, this thing used to be black. Someone gave it a quickie paint job and the door jambs are still black, so it looks pretty ghetto in there. So it comes with a Mexican blanket, which is basically universal terms for it needs a retrim. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll send this thing off to our mate Brad to do a nice seat, and we might tie it in with some door cards or something, I don't know. But once again, it's neat and tidy enough in there. We 100% would love to do something with that dash. The instrument cluster is awful and it doesn't work, so we'll just delete that. Maybe put a Bronco one in there back to factory with a tacho and stuff. And factory steering wheel to make this thing look more factory on the inside, because factory looks better. All right, so what we've got here is the world's largest hard lid, gas strutted, which actually works. You can see how big it is, the bounce. You can see right here what makes all the clearance happen. So it has monster tubs. Like, we could run this thing almost as a dually with the tubs this thing has, and a big hump in the middle to allow the diff to come right up. More cars. I can't believe how busy it is. So that's basically what makes this thing be able to go so low. But fortunately, they didn't do a flatbed raised up, because a lot of trucks or mini trucks, they usually lift up the floor completely, so it looks flat, but you just do away with all your storage. So we still have a fair bit of storage in the back here. And being a long wheelbase, obviously, there's a lot of room to start with. We are giving up a little bit of room up the front there for the gas tank, but we can't have it all. Now, once again, some people love it or hate the hard lid. I like the look of it. Practicality is not. I used to have the hard lid on our old F250. It looked really good, but as soon as you wanted to carry anything that was even slightly higher than the tub height, it was just a nightmare. It was on the piss, you're trying to tie it down, you're worrying about it breaking. Not ideal when it comes to using it, and we would really like to use this truck. My beautiful camera girl is getting a bit cold, so we'll hurry this up. Another thing we're going to change, these peep mirrors. I've got these on the Dodge. They are awful. You can say what you want. They are awful. They do not work. You cannot see anything out of them. You can see right here where the factory ones were. There actually should be holes down here as well, but we're going to put some little basic ones on there. I can't believe another car. Like, this is the busiest freaking road. That looked like an undercover copper. Anyway, so we'll probably put some mirrors here with a, not massive, but we'll be able to at least see out of them, because these are literally not worth even being there. Now, another thing that makes this car unique, and not so much in a good way, is that the front, being a Jag, has got a different stud pattern than the rear. So the front appears to be still Jag stud pattern, and the rear is F100. So while these wheels do match and they do suit this car, it is going to be hard to change the wheels. We would like to maybe change up the look a little bit, but that is going to be a hurdle we have to cross or jump. Let's jump hurdles, sorry. Anyway, it's getting cold. It's not getting any less busy on the road. Let's jump in this thing. We're going out to lunch, and yeah, we're just going to put some Ks on it. So as you can probably hear, it's got a nice healthy cam in it. The timing, I think, is out. It does not like to crank. So there's a lot of little fine tuning we got to do. But yeah, we're going to get this thing sorted, and it's going to be a lot of fun this summer. Now, another cool feature this thing has is an old school remote air system. Now, I actually had this exact unit on my Datsun when I first bagged this thing, like however long ago it was, 12 years or something, and I loved it, but it actually ended up packing up on me. So I'm sort of glad this truck has this one installed. So while it works, we'll make the most of it. So we can operate this thing from out the car, and it's all remote. So stock. It's still so slammed. Get in the car, love. You're cold. Okay, so thank you for coming to take a look at our new bullnose Bronco. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of work, but I think we got a hell of a lot of car, especially for what we paid for it. Now, out of courtesy, I'm not going to say what we paid for this car, but it was one of those situations where the last owner had to sell and we were just simply in the right place at the right time. And we gave him what he was asking for it. So it wasn't like a situation where we sort of were busting someone's balls, but like I said, we're just right place, right time. We couldn't pass it up. And yeah, anything that we do on this car, you will see on a future episode of the Iron Empire. So like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you all on an upcoming episode. Cheers, guys.